Uh,
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney. Sorry for the brief delay there. We were just getting some things set up. Molly was literally just coming in through the door. Uh,
I literally just got home from the train and knew I had to stream, so it just took a while to get things situated, to get things set up. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
yeah. I mean, and now I've eaten dinner, and I'm feeling groggy because I overate, but it was delicious because sandwich and fries. But yes, let's get into it. Unfortunately, Fat Man will not be joining us today. He had a recording session with Vex.
Wait, there's a new Ruby series?
Yes. That was the Ruby Fairy Tales, I think I saw it was called.
They're making another animation for Ruby. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, and it looks really meh. Also, they bring back the stupid log walls. Remember the bandit camp and the stupid log walls they had? Tell me, how much sense do those log walls make?
How do they think that they have the resources? They can barely get Ruby done on time.
Well, it's a 2D series. It looks like it's done using like flash animation effectively. Like it's basically another camp or whatever. Which honestly looks awful. I am getting sick and tired of that style of cartoon just because it's so easy to create.
As long as it's not Cal Arts.
I'm trying to think of where I saw a clip of it, but maybe we should watch the trailer for that. Nah. It's Attorney. I don't want to be angry this.
Just be like me. I'm always angry. The 2014 Oscars is my villain backstory.
The 2014 Oscars, really?
The Oscars, yes.
Oh, the Oscars. I was gonna say
the 2014 Oscars are my.
Why is that your villain backstory?
The animation category.
What was in that category?
Big Hero 6, Box Trolls, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Tale of Princess Kaguya, Song of the Sea. Big Hero 6 1.
Okay, I can see some frustration there. Yeah, here's him. They just announced the newest Disney movie. Did you see the trailer for the newest Disney movie that was announced?
No, what is it this time?
Well, it's a. I mean, the premise. It looks like there's a magical house in like a Mexican family lives in this magical house, and it has like a lot of really cool Mexican or Spanish. I'm not entirely sure which. I think it's Mexican influences. A lot of.
Are they just making 100 Years of Solitude?
I don't know. It's like a magic house. It's just like a bunch of everyone in the house has a secret magic talent. Not secret, but like
it's not 100 Years of Solitude.
They have like a openly magic talent, except this one girl who has no talents. She has no gifts, and I'm like, okay, I know the entire film. I already know the entire film from just that presentation. And the thing that really gets me about it...
If it was any other studio besides, like, Disney or Illumination, I would say maybe they'll do something different, but it's Disney.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, DreamWorks maybe would do something interesting with it. Yeah, and Encanto, that's what it's called. And it looks... I don't know how Disney has do it, but, like, their 3D aesthetic has become just the perfect sludge. I look at
I hate the art style in Luca. I will not touch it. I don't care how good the film is. I cannot stand looking at it because it's that obnoxious like Tumblr red nose style with the big eyes and the little button noses and everything.
Well, that's how like a lot of Disney
$300 million of animation behind it.
Here's the thing. Like that's how a lot of Disney's animation has been skewing, is like towards that kind of style where it's the big eyes, small noses. It's like I unironically think at some point they're going to reach like is it Grubhub?
Grubhub. Yes, it was Grubhub.
Yeah, like they're going to reach the Grubhub levels of character design. And Grubhub is like partially comedic.
I'm looking at screenshots and it honestly looks too good. Like, there is such a thing in animation as something looking too good. It's the reason why Okami has a timeless art style that will never age. Like,
There is a family of baby capybaras in that trailer, and I feel nothing when I see them.
yeah, that's how you know that
You've
it's
screwed
not
up.
working.
You have screwed up. 2 rounds, too soft. Yes, here's something interesting. Last night, I was hanging out with my friend Vince for the first time since like 2019. And we just sat around, we had a delicious dinner, made taiyaki, made a whole day of it. It was great. We watched Lupin the Third, the first. And it is incredible. It's also insane, but like you can feel the joy, the passion. There's such a dynamicism. Like in a Disney film, you understand like they the limits they present in the animation. I think that's probably the most galling thing about it. As expressive as the animation is, it always feels very grounded in a way that like it doesn't take the full advantage of what animation can do. Lupin
I
the
mean, yeah,
you
Disney seems to have forgotten what the point of animation is. Like, there's a reason why, I think I said on another stream, there's a reason why like they're trying to make live action Little Mermaid. It will never work because you need those dynamics and those color palettes and those emotions and that movement, and you cannot get that in even in CG.
Beauty and the Beast is a great example of it. The Beast looks fucking disgusting in the new in the live action version. I hate him. In the animated one, he's a big
Hi,
fluffy
Omega.
bear of a person. Like and his expressions are so dynamic and like skewed. They don't realize that like Disney has lost that exaggeration is the heart and the beating heart of animation for the cartoony style. Like there's a place for realistic animation, but like it's not where you have cartoonish characters.
It's also like the point of animation is that we're able to experience things we couldn't experience live action. The reason why, like, How to Train Your Dragon 2, despite being from 2014, still looks fucking incredible is because DreamWorks understood that and uses animation to the advantage of making these sequences and these settings and these characters that probably would never work in live action. But in animation, you can get stuff like riding dragons through the sky, and you feel something from it. Like, you're like, yes, that's what it would be like, because that's what they focused on. They focused on feeling, I guess. That's the difference.
Yeah, so but like watching Lupin the Third, the First, which is a really awkward title to talk about, but like it's a great freaking movie just because like the characters are just incredibly expressive. Like when a character's jaw drops, it's not just like a little like it's a like it goes like all the way down to like their sternum. You can there's this hilarious thing, and I think it's replicating from the original Lupin anime. I'm not familiar with Lupin outside of this movie, but you have the inspector from Interpol who's been trying to chase the main character, who's like the kind of like he's not really the antagonist so much as he's sort of like the an antagonistic force. He's sort of a rival character who's always like one step behind Lupin. Him and his Interpol agents act like a wave of people. Like they follow behind him they don't behave like people. They behave like kind of a liquid that follow behind him in this really goofy kind of way where like they're always bunched up together like a sentient mass. You know the very first scene, the very first person that gets Frank Sawit getting taken away in the Ace Attorney anime, and you have all those cops stream out of the sides of the
Yeah.
yeah. Basically, think that, but constantly, and also thematically fitting.
I'm looking at the animals in Encanto, and I think the problem is they just look like animals, but with cartoon eyes. Like, it's like if you put googly eyes on a capybara. It just doesn't look right.
Although now I want to see Google eyes on a capybara.
Me too. You guys, your animation study. If any of you are curious, your animation study homework is to look up the first flying scene, like the first flight of Baymax from Big Hero 6, and then the first flight of Toothless in the original How to Train Your Dragon, and you will see it's two different worlds of animation. It's just different.
Tron Legacy, absolutely phenomenal, and they abandoned it for what, a mediocre sci-fi masquerading as Star Wars? What are you talking about? What did they abandon it for?
All right, we should get going. We can continue this conversation in a little bit.
Sorry,
people are here.
I saw that and I got angry. Like I literally like I felt nothing and then I felt anger and it really hurt. Okay, February 25th, 9:47 a.m. Definitely the opposite of now. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. This is a defendant lobby, all right, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Oh. Edgeworth!
Edgeworth!
Knowing you've already figured it out. Who the owner of 777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright and Chief Prosecutor Skye will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. It's the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth. Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. It depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright. This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what the Chief Gannon has on her, it's now. Court is now in session for the trial, Miss Lena Skye.
It's not Canadian, Judge.
Oh, good point. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The autopsy report is outdated, Your Honor!
What if you wanted to go to heaven, but then God said, the autopsy report is outdated?
Right to hell. Normally this is when the prosecution puts forward the opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant?
Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, LG, been back to the pool yet?
I've been trying enough as it is in my work.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that.
If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? God, the lingering he does, it's just great.
I love that, like, use of not the UI, but just kind of like how Ace Attorney sets itself up visually.
Yeah.
Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court.
She wants to do what?
Having heard that she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble.
Phoenix, I would be objecting to that immediately. This is your client. What is all this about, defendant?
Oh my gosh, the lag. Stop streaming at 60 FPS.
Oh shit. Am I still doing that? I think I changed it for someone else. Stream quality. 30 FPS. 7. There you go. Hopefully that's better.
Alright. I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished.
Well then, what's your request?
Your Honor, I'd like to put an immediate end to this trial.
Huh?
I confess to all charges against me.
Blade Charge super chatted $5 to say objection. Thanks, Blade Charge.
Thanks, Blade Charge. On February 21st of this year, which is definitely a way people talk, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman.
Well, she's making like a formal statement.
I know, but if you're making a formal statement, you would have said, like, February 21st of 2016, or whenever this case definitely takes place. In the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office.
No, Lana! Is she holding behind her back?
Nothing. It's just the bandage on her hand.
You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claims does not change the defense's plea.
In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services.
But Lana!
Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence.
For the record, a dramatic outburst like this would be immediate calls for everyone to be like, was this a coerced confession? Like, immediately there'd be a red flag.
I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please.
So Mr. Phoenix is a smart and knowledgeable fellow. How is this court compared to most courts? This is a horrific dystopian court. You do not want to be in Phoenix Wright Court, ever.
Like, here's the thing about Ace Attorney, and I've said this on other streams. The thing that makes it horrifying is that it is a parody of Japan's court system. It is not just like in Japan. It's not just like whoo silly court. It is a parody.
Yeah, the thing about it is that, like, I've noted this a couple of times, but in Japan's courts, the prosecution has a 99% conviction rate. In the US, we have, I think, like a 30 to 50% conviction rate. It's not super high. It's not that we're ineffectual, it's just that we take a lot of cases on very little evidence in order to try and get as many criminals as possible. And that often puts a lot of people through a lot of heartache. But in Japan, the prosecution only takes cases it knows it's going to win. That does mean that there's a couple of criminals that actually do slip through the cracks, but it means that if you get caught by the police, you're just screwed. You're just royally screwed. Something that...
This is based on the Japanese court system, something that's lost since they changed it to be America instead. I don't know. This could be like Los Angeles right now. I don't know.
On record, the translators for this game have said that this is based in a world where Japan did not enter World War II.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, and like Japanese culture flourished in California, and that's why it's like that.
Which, honestly, sounds like the good end to World War II, because a lot less death going on, for one thing.
Never look up the Battle of Manila and never read about the Battle of Manila. Just don't do it.
Is that the one involving all the crocodiles?
No, it's just when Japan raided the Philippine cap. Just never read about it. I cannot go into it because of YouTube monetization rules.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Let's keep going.
Yes.
Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial.
Oh, girlfriend in chat, send frogs.
Frogs! All of the frogs!
Frogs. Kermit the Frog here. She's only here for a second, because she's at Disney World.
Kermit the Frog here. I will be filling in for the judge, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
This can't be happening.
It appears for the time is right. This court finds the defendant.
Objection! One moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth?
You're gonna do this the rest
Yes,
of the
I'm going to do
trial?
this the whole thing. The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would be certainly premature.
Frogs in the court. All rise.
Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut,
I love Edgeworth going to toe-to-toe with Gant. It's great.
I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
What?
Create another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal. Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy.
I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness.
Hey, V. She's in chat.
Oh? To who?
Oh, what's up, Evie? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye.
All right, boys, my time to shine.
I request the court
Let's
hears her
fucking
testimony.
go! Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue.
I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Fucking brutal, I love it. Thanks, V-chan. I hope everyone's having fun.
Very well. The court shall grant the prosecution's request. And that's okay with you. Chief Wright, Chief Gant?
Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words.
Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is Emma. Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator.
2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. He was related to Doug Dimmadome of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. Is this correct?
Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time.
Judge, the bladed threat will be stricken from the record.
I know, seriously, that's the biggest thing that does irk me occasionally. It's how does no one see the transparently evil people standing, like, I guess Von Karma kind of gets away with it. He's just so stoic all the time, except for, like, the, oh, I'm perfect stuff, but, like, Gant was clearly corrupt. Like, anyone that looks at that man, you can't look at him and not say, oh, that man has some skeletons. In fact, I'm pretty sure 90% of his wardrobe is skeleton.
Ace Attorney villains have a vibe to them. Like, they're just evil.
Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was robbed 2 years ago really all that relevant?
Yes, it most certainly is.
Well, okay then.
You sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. Oh shit!
No, I don't have the walkthrough up. You're gonna. Have
Oh
to take
shit!
that
Pull
one
up the walkthrough quick! I haven't refreshed myself on this. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial.
The blatant threat will be stricken from the record.
I can say that now.
All right, hold on. We're on trial former day 4, right? Yeah.
No, Lord Omega, here's a difference. Everyone knows Mark Zuckerberg is actually a robot. Everyone already knows that. Okay, it's like an open secret. I don't think he has any skeletons in his closet. I just think that he doesn't have a closet because he doesn't actually wear real clothes. He just kind of like changes his exoskeleton.
I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest.
It's a good thing you weren't harmed.
I passed out. I don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder?
That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence.
Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
Alright, so what am I hitting up?
Hold on, I'm on like the wrong part of the page.
I'm
Press
trying
the
to
fourth state.
press fourth thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
So I'll never forget what I saw in that instant.
Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out.
The lights?
It was just about this time of year.
I'm a little frozen.
There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out.
Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right?
Right, but just then lightning flashed outside again. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
I
It was
see.
like,
And yes, V-Chan, it is me, the Honorable Judge Frog. Very good to see you. I see.
Mr. the Frog, Kermit.
I just realized
I told the
I have the someone did a remaster of all the Ace Attorney music and it's incredible. And I have it patched into the game, but I don't think they looped it very well. You can
Yeah,
hear
there's a
it's-
weird track skip in it.
There's a weird track skip, which is okay. I mean, it's not super annoying. All right, go for it.
I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case.
Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. You're more.
Yeah.
So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago.
Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial.
And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw.
Yes, but at that time the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before.
Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough?
Ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture.
Witness, would you mind if we added the statement to your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
To do this, do this test, like Emma on the witness stand, I'm trying, you know, what they tell you, like, when you're trying to act, they're like, oh, pull from, like, a time where you felt blank. So I'm trying to pull from the most recent time I felt, like, intense anxiety, and it's when, it was, like, last week when Sarah was driving to pick me up, and there was a really bad rainstorm. Because I always worry about her driving.
You see, I just witnessed a murder, and I'm scared about this trial, right?
Right. What the fuck? Okay, so press this or present.
Hold on. My computer's slowing down. Present the evidence list.
Where is the evidence? Is this the evidence list? This is the evidence list. Present. Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet, you would insist on denying its existence. Yeah. Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold!
This is evidence. This is the evidence list for the SL9 incident.
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over. Turn it. Ah! What's this?
My favorite part of Ace Attorney is people not realizing they could, like, turn over pieces of paper.
Yes, what is that?
People on Ace Attorney will be like, oh, what's this? Oh, there's a picture on the other side!
Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew.
Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here.
What is the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list.
These lists, they're different from each other.
What?
It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see here where they're torn apart from each other.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What?
Order, order. But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list?
Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor.
Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor!
Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
Yes, that is quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's possible. Let's see.
Edgeworth's moment of like, in my 2 years of having this thing, I never once looked at the back of it.
People in this franchise are so special.
They are.
Is something wrong?
You even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Is that thing?
That's that thing. That thing was dancing in the evidence room.
I've lost the Kermit voice.
No, you have to keep going.
I know, just because I'm going to, but I don't know how accurate it's going to keep on being. Clearly, the act of vandalism is working of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored.
Very well. Witness, will you please testify about the picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh?
Oh, wow. I just lost the image for a second.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seems to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Seemed to be. Past tense, Raymond.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows.
As you can tell, this was before I started going to Cal Arts, because the art is actually of good quality.
It is a good drawing.
I stayed on model and everything. Suck it, Cal Arts!
After that, I must have fainted. The picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neo Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
What am I hitting?
That picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Present Neil's autopsy report.
Shit, where is that? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction.
What?
Nice voice crack, Molly.
But I still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply point out this contradiction for us? What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report?
Is it the obvious only thing that's not shaded in?
Just to check. The knife tip.
The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken.
Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright?
But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too.
If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body.
It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken.
Yeah! What is the meaning of this?
Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there.
That's right, but where does this lead?
The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already about a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, Wright. All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Oh man, he's getting stabbed by a ruler. The worst way to go.
Order, order, order. Are you, saying something the investigation was really corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over all the evidence that took place on the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecution's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in the story, there is a lie. Turns out, Emma, you are not, in fact, related to your sister.
I'm not lying. The man was really holding up a broken knife.
If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife.
What are the chances of there being 2 broken knives?
Another broken knife beside Joe Dark's. Could there have been one?
Yes, there is another one.
If the witness is adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by simple observational error.
Mr. Wright,
In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. So please, feel free to enlighten us.
The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. And this is like the photo, right?
Yeah, the photo.
Which photo? That's evidence room.
I'm so happy in the newer games they had you discard of evidence that like you didn't need for the next part.
Yeah, but also the logic behind it doesn't make a lot of sense. I would rather if, like, it more categorized it, so you still technically, like, you could see the evidence you had prior, and you could, like, go back and reference, like, where it was used, like, so you have, like, that reference point, and it feels more like you actually have, like, an organized inventory type deal going on. The answer lies in the past, 2 years ago in the past. Right here, inside this very picture. This is a picture of... Oh, this is a picture of the awards ceremony. Ah!
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding?
that's a broken knife.
As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award.
Order, order, order.
Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. Then he chased after Joe Dark, and he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in the dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because the King of Prosecutors Award's knife was the murder weapon. Then the murderer and the victim would have been reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh!
But the prosecution was the one who actually died.
That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions.
Wait! I remember now. I remember everything.
Witness?
Mr. Edgeworth,
What is it?
could you show me your evidence list again, please?
His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back?
I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it.
What? You drew that?
That's right. the list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture.
I mean, the badger wasn't even around back then.
Yeah, no, I think that's relevant. The anime guy says, I remember now, what plot convenience. Yes, it makes no sense at all for somebody to remember an event that is being described to them for the first time in 2 years.
All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me.
Bye, V.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor.
What are you going to say?
I just said bye to V.
Oh, a V. Oh, I didn't realize it.
Bye, V. It was fun having you here.
Otsukari-sama desu. Okay, so yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? That should be interesting.
That's not how amnesia works. I'm not saying it's an amnesia thing. I'm saying that if you have, like, are recalling an event and people are talking about that event in front of you, you are more likely to remember things.
Yeah, recall something that happened to you in a group setting 2 years ago, and imagine people, well, I guess, go talk to people about things that happened 2 years ago and start trying to kind of piece together what happened, because my bets to dollars is you don't remember the complete circumstance of what happened. You might have the broad strokes of some interesting thing that happened, but other people pick up on different things that happen at the same time just by simply being in different places at different times. So,
I mean, if you ask 5 people about the same situation happening in front of them, they will all give you slightly different answers. It's just kind of how memory works.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Thankfully, Wright grabbed his keyblade and opened Emma's memories. Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts.
you know how, like, does this thing? Anyway.
Yes.
It's the evil hand wiggle. Let's see.
When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
This is certainly most unusual.
Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may now...
Stop! Please! Don't pursue this any further!
Lana?
What is the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair.
But you can't do this! I've already confessed to the crime! Why can't you just leave it at that?
I believe that the prosecutor still has the right to conduct the trial even after an admission of guilt. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, an actual legal circumstance if this happens. I think...
In a legal circumstance, I think confessions are evidence, but they're not, like, they don't put you away.
Because, like, any number... People can confess to crimes they haven't committed. I'm pretty sure it happens, like, every day. Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back.
Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
My neighbors are probably like, the fuck's going on up there?
It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Emma's recollection. What am I hitting?
Fifth statement. He wasn't in the room. Press the fifth statement.
His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all?
That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
This is pointless. That thing couldn't possibly have existed 2 years ago.
I love how much Edgeworth hates it.
It is wonderful because it matches mine. Although I get its design, it's supposed to be a jester hat. Like, the horns are supposed to be a jester hat. It's really, I get the idea. Oh, sup, Moopa, how's it going?
Moopa.
The witness must be mistaken.
I'm sure she is concocting another great story.
Yes. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation. If so, then by all means, please tell us about what this shadow really was. Why was it Emma saw that when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger, really?
I just might know. We all got giga stuck on this part back in the day.
Yeah. The blue badger, actually, this is one that I think I figured out quite fast. I had more issue with other pieces, I think. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she certainly saw the shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, on Sunday, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room.
Mr. Wright!
In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it the witness saw in that instance? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look like.
Where's the vase?
The anime guy says, I don't know what's worth. Playing Destiny 2's Gambit clone number 143 for a season of the Splicer or watching the Japanese court system work in this game and its illogically powder mates that Sabathun would eat up.
I don't get half... I got like maybe...
I know
20%.
some of these words.
There is English being spoken. Looks like I've been fucking through it today, but at least things are probably uphill from here. I've been there. Volume 5 script has been kicking my ass. I hope to have it done tonight, but
give it to me. I need to do music. Make me do music. I need the script.
Yes.
I too play video games, says Nikito. It's like, do you remember? I don't know if you watched iCarly, but I remember there's one episode where Gibby has a friend, and like he only talks in incredibly non sequitur, like in like these idioms that are total non sequiturs, and he'll be like, "Well, ain't that ice cream on a soccer ball?" And like Gibby just gets it, and nobody else does, and that's the joke, and that's how I felt reading. Well, ain't that Destiny 2's Gambit clone number 143?
What is that? A smoothie. God, I love that show, and it's gotten a reboot, or it's getting that reunion, and it looks terrible.
I don't think the show was ever like that good. It just had some really good jokes in it.
I think it had some good actors, like the guy that played the brother.
Oh no,
great.
No, Jerry Trainor's great. I was watching. My friends had me watch Quentin Review's 5-hour review of it, and apparently Noah Monk, the guy that played Gibby, he was 11 when he started that show. Like, he's super talented.
Yeah.
He also has a YouTube channel.
Also, you watch Quentin Reviews?
Horrifying. Just that one time, just for my friends.
Okay.
I do a lot for my friends.
Man, that's taking some hits.
Gibby has a YouTube channel, and it's horrifying.
Good or bad?
Good. He does all the editing himself, and it's just insane. Anyway, go on.
The mysterious blue badger was, in fact, this.
But that's... what exactly is that?
I believe it's some sort of jar.
But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger.
Anime guy, you're explaining the joke that you tried to tell. It failed. Here's the thing with a joke. Jokes are fire and forget. That you must understand that. Jokes are fire. If you have to go back and explain it, they've already failed. Like, at that point, it's literally just you basically making sure people are primed for the future jokes that you're going to tell. And even then, we're not going to retain all that. Just giving you forewarning on that, buddy.
No, neither of us play Destiny, so we don't get it. It's like, I don't go up to Raymond and, like, make jokes about, like, what's a thing he doesn't watch that I watch. I mean,
Amphibia.
I've already made the mistake. Yeah, it's like if I start making jokes about Amphibia to him. Like he hasn't watched it. I've watched it.
Indeed, it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this form. From. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, this is where everyone got stuck. Where's my rotate? Okay, there's that. What the fuck is this control N?
Hi, Dean.
B, what the fuck? Okay, this isn't right. I've got to make this look more like the badger. Allow me to remind the defense, its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape to the witness' draw, we cannot accept this claim. I gotta find
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh god, I forgot about this. I blocked this.
It's the other way. It's the other way.
Oh, it's the other way?
Like, the opening will be at the bottom. The opening of the vase will be at the bottom. Like turn it around, and then...
Like that?
No. Like the opening of the vase on top. And then...
Oh, then...
And then it's like, you spin it around. And then tilt it down. There you go.
Whoa! I didn't press anything for that. I guess he just did it automatically because the game was like, this is too fucking hard. What? No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. I was trying to fucking. Fuck you, game.
Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it!
All right, so it's this angle, and then it's Q and R. It's Q and R to do this. That's okay. Why?
The music in the back is just haunting. Okay, okay. A little higher. No, a little lower.
Shouldn't the blood spatter be on the bottom though?
No, because it's just the silhouette that's relevant.
Or maybe if it's just like...
No, like,
Oh, I think I got it. Do you see it?
Yeah, hold on, I'm sending you, like, the example picture.
Okay,
I think that's it.
I think that's it. Don't! All right, I think I know the trick there.
Come on, Mr. Wright!
I want to see Raymond do this Resident Evil. The shadow puzzles in Resident Evil 7 are easy. All right, this like the shadow puzzles and seriously, I played that game for the first time and I did the shadow puzzles like sub 30 seconds. Like they were pieces of cake because you don't have like the minute you put them in the correct place, they just auto succeed. Okay, I'm gonna put this over here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Let's rotate that. And...
This is what I'm doing instead of eating dinner, by the way. Chat, this is what I do for you.
Alright, so it looks like... This should be correct. Oh, okay, because the chin needs to be completely whole. No. Shit. That's not what I wanted.
Every mistaken turn puts Lana one step closer to death row. Nikhil says the really giant hole needs to be barely visible.
Wait, the giant hole needs to be barely visible?
Mm-hmm. Also, is your setup okay?
What?
Like I heard you like
Oh no,
throw something.
That was my chair arms.
You have to flip it so the blood is on the bottom.
Oh. So I was right then.
Wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
Well, no, because like that's how I would have it is that you do. Okay, I see. Wait, no, I don't see.
It's off by a pixel.
Maybe it has to be upside down like this?
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Nikhil, we're literally looking. Can you get an example for the HD edition, not the DS version?
Or
maybe like look up a walkthrough or something. This is gonna drive me insane.
I'm doing it.
No, I didn't mean to press E. God damn it. It literally doesn't work if the blood's on the bottom, though. Yeah, that's the issue. Is like, how does it? Would it be like... Oh. Would it be like... no? This is infuriating. This music is not helping either. Why did I install this music patch?
Violence. Yeah, share the link, please. Shoot, I know that you're like a stream regular. I just forget what your name lines up with. You're not Pasted, are you? No. I think you're Poncho? You could try it like that and see what happens.
Try every possible combination. Look, we have full control over 360 degrees of movement in multiple directions. It's not just every... Why is the music only 5 bars? Because they want to torture us.
Couster says the horn in the middle has to be barely visible. Yeah, I mean, we tried that.
The horn
if anybody has a picture, please share a link in chat.
Don't die when I pressed R! I pressed R! I'm playing this game to relax from writing V5, and yet now I'm going more mad.
To remember the W axis, Raymond.
Okay, I'm going to punch whoever works at Capcom that decided that this control scheme is what would work. All right. Keyboard control only. So is it like... Is it this? Oh my god!
Did we get it? Oh!
Fucking finally! Oh! Okay.
Let's fucking go!
Is this a miracle or what? Yeah, fuck it is. No one can possibly deny this jar resembles the blue badger, because this jar makes no fucking sense. How does it stand? How does it balance? No, it can't be. It feels like me when I scrapped drafts that fail me. Yes, this is exactly the feeling.
Order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this, and now I no longer have any more competition in the colored animal category.
Objection!
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, yes, one question remains.
They wrote the script, they knew.
Yeah, what's this point? What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything.
Objection!
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then, please tell us. What's different now than we just witnessed the jar? Which one?
The location. Wait. You choose any of them and it works.
Okay. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Where?
The location of this jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on the shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason.
Because he's evil, Miles.
Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason.
Do you know what this reason was, Mr. Wright?
I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now. The only issue I have with this music patch is the looping. Like, other than that, I like this music better. I think it's a much cleaner version of all the original songs. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked to the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit?
All right. Do I do it?
Don't be.
Ah!
The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword.
It's a spear. What the fuck, man? Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Another possibility?
Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this.
Mr. Wright, what is the matter?
If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually prosecutor Neil Marshall,
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me?
Don't scream.
I'm not going to scream. No.
Thud.
That's why I brought out the little rubber bands, because I am out for a considerable portion of this.
I've never imagined a testimony would lead to this.
So
Listen,
what-
I've wanted to scream while reading through a playthrough just once. I don't care if my mic can handle it.
Well, it's less than Mike and more the your neighbors.
Yeah.
So it was the
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do the big scream. I want to do the little one, but I think if I do the big one, my neighbors will call the police.
Yeah.
So it was the witness who took the victim's life and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
What? What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances,
Joe Dark murdered prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it?
I assure you, Mr. Edwards, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall?
Evidence?
I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it would certainly be difficult to prove this with evidence.
We don't have evidence, and we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead.
Morsels.
Morsels. That's what I got. They're not as nice as they used to be before COVID.
Yeah, I need to actually get weightlifting. I think that'd be probably best for me. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. It's all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touché, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. I mean, there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edwards?
I mean, the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another.
That's impossible.
That's not true!
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
I gotta think back to the court record. The real murderer's name, the victim that may have been left behind.
It's in the evidence.
This message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Mr. Wright! Will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek: the truth.
One of the reasons I'm sad that they never did an anime adaptation of Rise from the Ashes is because I would have loved to hear Lana's breakdown.
No matter how painful it may be.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us this piece of evidence that conveys the message from the deceased.
I don't remember what that is.
It's the unstable jar.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Wait, didn't this chick Lana die in another game? Or was that some other hot chick?
No,
well,
that was Mia.
First of all, I'm glad that's how you refer to women who are dead, even if they're characters. Secondly, yeah, that's Mia.
Wait, who asked that?
Anime guy.
Okay, I'm gonna be charged with involuntary manslaughter. Oh wait, this is Japanese court system, of course. What do you say? Wait, didn't this chick Lana die in another game of?
Yeah.
Some other hot chick. Yeah, no, that was Mia. You're thinking of Mia. She was the other quote-unquote hot chick, although they're both more than that. See, is Emma going to jail? No, this would be true of an American court system, too. Intentional or not, a killing is still a killing, and somebody has to answer for it, if only to satisfy the family of the deceased. Not necessarily. I think there are, like, freak accidents are ruled. Like, things that are outside of command. I think Emma would actually get out of this claiming self-defense. And
easy self-defense. She was 14. It was dark. She panicked.
Well, even in that circumstance, I would argue, like, she was defending, in that circumstance, you could argue, Joe Dark. She wasn't trying to defend, like, she perceived it as Goodman being attacked by Dark, but in reality, Marshall, she thought it was Marshall being attacked by Dark, but she ran forward and pushed the attacker. But really, what that breaks down to is she saw someone about to get fucking stabbed, and then stopped the stabbing from happening. So in this circumstance, she still stopped a murderer. This is the message left by the deceased.
That is the Blue Badger from before, right?
Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name?
If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone forgot this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of this jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice. For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away.
Yes, there's a line there, drawn in blood.
So what you will say is that these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments of life left in him to leave a message behind. Once someone apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points. And the victim's message will become apparent.
No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us an answer. Gotta connect these dots to make the letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written given the circumstances. His murderer's name. How do we...
Looks like just click and drag.
Okay. No. What's the undo button?
D for undo.
Can I not do this? Okay, that's weird. Okay.
You don't have to. Yeah.
It's the defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind.
Whoa, it says EMA, Emergency Medical Aviation. I don't think that's an actual
All the
acronym.
people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life
Was Emma Skye.
Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you.
Chief gasped.
Do you understand the implications of what you've done?
What? What are you talking about?
2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
Objection!
but Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That is undeniable. Actually, I don't know. I'm afraid that's not important. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if Joe Dark was actually a serial murderer. He's just been a knife enthusiast for all we know.
It's just a dude.
Did you know we aren't defenders of justice?
What?
We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't a cover-up or evidence of forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
I love, like, everything about Gant is so menacing, the way the music cuts out around him and, like, the way it lingers on him.
They've made him an unbridled villain. It's great.
Order, 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 order!
Worm Court is now in session, all right.
The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. And I think that's a good place to wrap for the night. So I hope you all enjoyed the this installment of Ace Attorney and our impromptu rant about Disney and the animation sludge that's been pumping out of them in the last few days. What does that have to do with anything, Gant? Yeah, no, that's a good question. Like, the problem is there's a clear pipeline of evidence to the prosecution. It's been proved in this case that evidence has gone missing from the prosecution in connection with the police multiple times. Like, at this rate, it's like, hey, police, you ain't giving me the deets. What the fuck's going on here? No, why stop? Can't you do it for the next few days straight? I don't know if there's that much days straight to go around. Actually, there is.
After this case, are we gonna go straight to the second game, or can we skip around? Because, I do not care much for the first, like, 3 cases of Justice for All.
Those are, what are those 3 cases? Those are, of course, the Maggie Bird case. Then you have, then you get then you have Turnabout Sisters, not Turnabout Sisters. Not
Turnabout Sisters. It's like Pearl's introduction.
It's Pearl's introduction, and it's Pearl's. And then you have, after that is, that's not Mask the Mask. That's game 3. No, it's the Carnival, which
we could skip Turnabout Big Top.
But it's the only one that the anime I thought did better than the original.
I know.
Oh.
Farewell My Turnabout is so goated, though.
It is, but, like, I don't want to just jump right to it. There's a lot that's built up over the entire thing. Turnabout Circus, yeah. Mollie flexing.
Also, people seem to want us to continue, because I think we only do have, like, another hour left of it.
Yes, but at the same time, I only have half an hour before people start going to bed around here. So I have to start being quiet soon. So thank you all so much for joining us. I had a blast. I think, Mollie, you had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was great. This is
acting. I don't care if I'm not good at it. I love doing it.
This is just such a good case. I mean, yeah, there's some stupid in there, but, like, I've always, and this is the issue, another issue I had, is that the anime didn't smooth over the idiot moments like you could have to kind of save time, because in the game they're trying to create, like, points of intrigue that can slow down the game so you can sit there and actually, like, think different things through. Like, so, I didn't notice there was a drawing on the back of this piece of paper for 2 years. That's stupid. They would have had something like a good writer in an adaptation would have adaptation changed that. But the anime didn't change that, and that was where I would have the issue. Anyway, yes, it sucks because Justice for All was the best title of the 6 games.
That's just true.
I disagree. Trials and Tribulations. Trials and Tribulations. I am a TNT guy. All the way. That had the most satisfying ending of any trilogy on the planet. Aside from maybe Lord of the Rings.
That's true. I mean, yeah, like Trials and Tribulations, you have to go through all 5 cases for the 5th case to, you know.
Well, yeah, but
also be goated.
The thing that I love about it is that it brings elements together from all three all three games. Like it knows how to be a finale to a trilogy. It's great.
Yeah, I mean that is why like 2-2 is relevant, but
yeah. All right, well, time to pop off. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, for $1 or more to my Patreon, you get access to the Team Frostbite Discord server where I, Fatman, Dashy Lee, we're all regularly active. Molly will be in there again sometime. She's taking a brief break from it.
Stop making me angry.
What was our topic from last week? We had an interesting one, I remember. I'm trying to recall what it was. You still have 2 weeks to write it, whatever it was.
Wait, what was? Why do we keep forgetting our own prompts? We should really be writing these down. I feel like we
really
say
should.
that.
We're terrible at it. We're terrible at it. Yes, go back and watch our last stream to find out what our prompt was, because we're going to have to do that ourselves. And when you find that out, just know that it'll be due in 2 weeks. Next week, it's me and Molly.
It was one conversation with 2 different setups around it.
Right. I call it double entendre. What should we write next week? Or should we just play more Ace Attorney?
We can play more Ace Attorney.
We should play more Ace
Attorney. Next week it was going to be a CW version of the series.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god. Okay, no, we're doing that. CW series.
I want my CW Pokemon Sun and Moon anime.
Okay. CW Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'll write it down. And then our
Celtic Phoenix is typing. I know him. CW Little Witch Academia.
Oh, yeah, no, I will murder people for that one.
Akko, your cocaine addiction is getting out of hand. I'm sorry, Diana. I have to do it. It's for you.
No, you can't kill Suchi. You can't do that.
Suchi died long ago.
She's been replaced.
She died on the inside. Her schizophrenia really tore her up.
Oh, God. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. And don't forget, tomorrow, me and Fatman doing more Doki Doki. So, yeah.